Fast, Feast, Repeat by Jen Stevens. Picture yourself stuck on a roller coaster that never ends. Not the fun kind that makes you laugh and scream for 3 thrilling minutes. This one's different. It stretches across years, maybe decades. You climb slowly toward your goal, heart full of hope, only to come crashing down, landing heavier, more frustrated, and wondering if you'll ever escape. Sound familiar? That's the diet trap millions of us know all too well. It's this endless loop of restricting ourselves, seeing brief success, then watching it all unravel. Each cycle chips away at our confidence and, surprisingly enough, our actual health. There was someone once, maybe someone a lot like you, who found themselves over 200 pounds despite trying everything. And I mean everything. They counted every calorie, cut out fats, banished carbs, tried shakes and pills, even hormone injections. Every trending diet that promised miracles, they'd been there. Yet the scale kept creeping upward. It felt like their own body had turned against them. Does any part of that resonate with you? That exhausting feeling that maybe you're somehow the problem? Here's the good news. We're exploring a book today that doesn't just offer another path. It offers freedom from this whole exhausting cycle. It's called Fast, Feast, Repeat by Jen Stevens, and it's become a beacon of hope for hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, who've been desperate to escape the diet trap. Jen Stevens isn't your typical diet guru, no medical degree or nutrition certification. She spent nearly 3 decades as a teacher, helping young minds grasp complicated concepts. And honestly, that might be her secret weapon. After her own decades-long struggle, she lost over 80 pounds and actually kept it off for years. Then she dedicated herself to understanding why intermittent fasting worked when everything else had failed her. She dove deep into research, connected with real people living this way, and distilled it all into a guide that's both clear and compassionate. This isn't just another diet book promising quick fixes. It's a comprehensive guide to understanding how your body actually works. By the time we're done today, you'll understand why that relentless diet cycle keeps failing us, how your body has this incredible fat-burning ability just waiting to be activated, and why simply shifting when you eat, not just what you eat, might be the key to lasting health and natural weight management. This is about taking back your power, learning to trust your body again, and discovering a path that feels like freedom instead of punishment. Ready to step off that roller coaster? Let's dive in. Host. So why do diets fail most people? We've all heard the statistics. Something like 95% of people regain lost weight. While experts debate the exact numbers, the massive diet industry itself proves we haven't cracked the code. We try so hard, follow all the rules, white-knuckle our way through cravings, and yet the weight creeps back, often bringing extra pounds along for the ride. Jen Stevens wants you to understand something crucial right from the start. You didn't fail the diets. The diets failed you. This isn't about willpower or discipline. It's about biology. Think about our ancestors for a moment. Human survival depended on bodies that could efficiently store energy as fat during abundant times and tap into those reserves during scarcity. Wars, droughts, harsh winters, our bodies developed sophisticated mechanisms to protect us, to keep us alive when food disappeared. Fast forward to today. Food is everywhere, all the time. Corner stores, vending machines, overflowing pantries. Our bodies haven't caught up to this constant abundance. When we drastically cut calories, our body doesn't understand we're trying to fit into last year's genes. It perceives a threat, a famine, and it fights back hard. How? Scientists started unraveling this during World War II. A researcher named Ansel Keys conducted what's now called the Minnesota starvation experiment. He wanted to understand how to help people recover from severe deprivation. Healthy young men volunteered for 6 months of significantly reduced calories, though interestingly, they were still eating around 1,800 calories daily, often more than many crash diets today. They also walked 22 miles weekly. What happened? Sure, they lost weight, but they also became obsessed with food, collecting recipes, dreaming about meals constantly. They grew irritable, exhausted, and freezing cold all the time. Their bodies adapted to the perceived famine by slowing their metabolism, basically turning down the furnace to conserve energy. They lost muscle along with fat. And when the starvation ended, their hunger signals went haywire. Bodies desperately tried recovering lost weight, cranking up the drive to eat. Some men couldn't stop eating, even binging to the point of needing medical intervention. Does that intense rebound hunger after a strict diet sound familiar? It wasn't weakness, it was biology screaming, "Eat now!" Crucially, men whose food stayed restricted kept their slow metabolisms, but those allowed to eat freely? Their metabolisms bounced back. There's hope in that metabolic slowdown isn't necessarily permanent. More recently, researchers followed contestants from The Biggest Loser 6 years after the competition. These folks had lost massive amounts of weight through extreme calorie restriction and intense exercise. The findings? Years later, their metabolisms were significantly slower than expected for their new size and age, about 500 calories per day slower on average. Their bodies had adapted to the extreme measures, and this adaptation stuck around, making weight maintenance incredibly difficult. Ironically, those who kept more weight off actually had the worst metabolic slowdown. Why? Because they had to keep restricting more and more aggressively just to maintain their losses. It confirms a sad truth. The harder you fight your biology with constant restriction, the harder your biology fights back. Let's break down what happens biologically when we lose weight through traditional dieting. 1. Ghrelin, your hunger hormone, shoots up. Your body cranks up the drive to eat. That feeling where you can't stop eating chips? That's ghrelin talking. 2. Leptin, your fullness hormone, drops down. You eat but don't feel satisfied. You keep going until you're uncomfortably stuffed because the stop signal barely registers. 3. Your metabolic rate slows down, sometimes dramatically more than expected just from being smaller. Your body conserves energy, thinking you're starving. That dragging exhaustion that makes the gym seem impossible? Partly metabolic adaptation. Hunger up, fullness down, energy expenditure down. It's a perfect storm designed by nature to make you regain weight. It protected our ancestors from actual famine, but sabotages our modern weight loss efforts. So here's the million-dollar question. How do we lose excess fat without triggering this biological backlash? How do we work with our bodies instead of against them? This is where intermittent fasting enters the scene, and why Jen Stevens calls it fundamentally different. It's not just another way to eat less. It introduces a completely different signal to your body, the signal of the fast. Think of your body as a hybrid car with 2 fuel sources. Glucose, sugar from food, especially carbs, stored short-term in your liver and muscles as glycogen, and fat, stored long-term throughout your body. When you eat, particularly carbs or protein, your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin acts like a key, unlocking your cells so glucose can enter for immediate energy. It also tells your liver and muscles to store extra glucose as glycogen. Once those stores are full, insulin helps convert leftover energy into fat for long-term storage. Insulin is essentially your storage hormone. It's vital. Without it, like in type 1 diabetes, people waste away because cells can't access or store energy properly. Here's the critical part. When insulin levels are high, fat burning is largely switched off. Insulin's job is storing energy, not releasing it. Scientists call this anti-lipolytic, literally working against fat breakdown. So if you're eating or snacking frequently throughout the day, especially processed foods or sugary drinks, your insulin stays elevated. Your body remains in fat storage mode, making it incredibly difficult to access stored fat. This state of chronically high insulin hyperinsulinemia is linked not just to weight gain and obesity, but to many modern health problems: type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, heart disease, even some cancers. What happens when you stop eating for a while, when you fast? After a few hours, glucose from your last meal gets used up. Insulin levels start dropping. As blood glucose falls, your pancreas releases a different hormone, glucagon. Glucagon sends the opposite signal to insulin. It tells your liver to release stored glycogen back into the bloodstream as glucose, keeping your energy stable, especially for your brain. Your liver's glycogen stores are limited, maybe 300 to 400 calories worth. As those deplete, which might take 12 to 36 hours, depending on various factors, and with insulin now nice and low, your body realizes it needs another fuel source. And this is where the magic happens. Low insulin finally unlocks your fat stores. Your body starts breaking down stored fat, lipolysis, and converting it into energy. A byproduct of this fat-burning process is ketones. Ketones are a fantastic alternative fuel, especially for your brain, which actually loves them. This transition from primarily using glucose to primarily using fat and ketones is what Jen Stevens calls flipping the metabolic switch. Intermittent fasting is the most effective, natural way to lower insulin and encourage your body to flip this switch regularly. Remember the problem with traditional low-calorie diets? They often cause metabolic slowdown because the body, perceiving starvation and still getting frequent small meals that keep insulin somewhat elevated, tries conserving energy. Another fantastic benefit happens during fasting: a surge in human growth hormone, HGH. HGH naturally declines as we age, but fasting gives it a significant boost. Why does this matter? HGH helps preserve and even build lean muscle mass. It also supports bone density and healing. This is key. People losing weight on traditional diets often lose significant muscle along with fat, which contributes to metabolic slowdown. But with intermittent fasting, the combination of low insulin allowing fat access, ketone production providing fuel, and elevated HGH protecting muscle helps us burn fat preferentially while holding on to or even gaining muscle. This leads to body recomposition, losing fat and gaining muscle simultaneously. You might see clothes getting looser even if the scale isn't dropping rapidly, because muscle is denser and takes up less space than fat. Intermittent fasting isn't just about calories, it's about hormonal signaling. It lowers insulin, enabling fat burning. It encourages the metabolic switch to ketones. It boosts HGH, protecting muscle. It helps your body efficiently tap into its own fuel reserves, potentially without the dramatic metabolic slowdown of chronic dieting. That's the superpower Jen Stevens is talking about. But the benefits don't stop there. Many people come to intermittent fasting for weight loss, but stay for the profound health improvements. Remember the 2016 Nobel Prize awarded to Yoshinori Ohsumi? It was for discoveries about autophagy. Autophagy literally means self-eating. Think of it as your body's internal recycling and cleanup crew. When cells are under stress, like during fasting when external nutrients aren't coming in, autophagy ramps up. The cell identifies old, damaged, or malfunctioning parts, worn-out proteins, damaged organelles and breaks them down. The resulting raw materials get reused for energy or building new, healthy components. It's cellular spring cleaning. Why does this matter? This cleanup is crucial for maintaining healthy cells and tissues. When autophagy doesn't work properly, cellular junk accumulates, linked to aging and various diseases, neurodegenerative disorders, metabolic syndrome, liver disease, even cancer. Fasting is one of the most potent ways to stimulate autophagy. When your body isn't busy digesting incoming food, it has time and the signal to focus on internal housekeeping. There's debate about exactly when autophagy significantly increases during a fast. Some suggest 24 to 36 hours or more, while others believe benefits start sooner, possibly linked to ketosis. Gin Stephens argues that since autophagy relates to the body needing to scrounge around for fuel, similar to ketosis, once you become metabolically flexible and deplete glycogen faster during your daily fast, you likely experience increased autophagy regularly, even without very long fasts. Longer fasts might induce deeper autophagy, but daily practice likely keeps the process active. Some fasters report loose skin tightening over time. Dr. Jason Fung theorizes this could be autophagy breaking down and recycling excess tissue. Beyond autophagy, fasting impacts health in numerous ways, often linked back to lowered insulin and reduced inflammation. Insulin sensitivity. Fasting combats hyperinsulinemia and improves insulin sensitivity, crucial for preventing and managing metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes. Some studies and clinical practices show potential for reversing type 2 diabetes, especially early stage. Inflammation. Chronic inflammation drives many modern diseases. Fasting lowers inflammatory markers. The ketone BHB, produced during fasting, seems to directly reduce inflammation. Many fasters report relief from inflammatory conditions like seasonal allergies or asthma over time. Autoimmune conditions. Since many autoimmune diseases involve inflammation, fasting shows promise managing symptoms of conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, and multiple sclerosis, though more research is needed. Heart health. Fasting is linked to improved cardiovascular markers, reduced blood pressure, lower resting heart rate, potentially lower risk of coronary artery disease. Increased adiponectin, a cardioprotective compound, might be involved. Brain health. This is truly exciting. Fasting boosts brain health by increasing brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which supports neuron growth and connections. It improves neural connections, potentially protects against amyloid plaques linked to Alzheimer's, and enhances the brain's resistance to injury and neurodegenerative diseases. Many fasters report improved mental clarity and focus during fasts. Gut health. Our gut microbiome, trillions of bacteria in our intestines, plays a huge role in immunity and metabolism. Fasting positively influences the microbiome, potentially increasing diversity and shifting balance toward bacteria associated with leanness. Cancer. While much research is early stage, fasting shows potential in both cancer prevention in animal models and as an adjunct to chemotherapy, seemingly making cancer cells more vulnerable while protecting normal cells during treatment. Longevity. Emerging research suggests fasting might tap into pathways linked to longer, healthier lifespans. Studies, including one on humans fasting 58 hours, show increases in beneficial metabolites associated with muscle maintenance, antioxidant activity, and cellular repair processes like autophagy and enhanced mitochondrial function. Animal studies link intermittent fasting patterns to improved health and longevity, seemingly independent of calorie reduction. Fasting might keep our cells, blood vessels, and even intestinal lining younger. Impressive, right? This is why Gin Stephens calls intermittent fasting the health plan with a side effect of weight loss. You might start for the scale, but you'll likely discover benefits far beyond that. Now, if you're feeling excited about harnessing these benefits, there's one concept Jin emphasizes above all others. It's the cornerstone of her approach, the non-negotiable element she believes unlocks the true magic of intermittent fasting. It's called the clean fast. What is the clean fast? Simply put, it means consuming only things during your fasting period that don't elicit a significant metabolic or hormonal response, particularly an insulin response. Remember insulin, the storage hormone that shuts down fat burning? The primary goal of the clean fast is keeping insulin as low as possible during the fast to maximize fat burning, autophagy, and other health benefits. Jin argues passionately, based on her understanding of science and countless faster experiences, that many common practices thought to be okay during a fast actually interfere with these goals. She proposes 3 main goals for the clean fast. 1. Keep insulin low. 2. Tap into your own fat stores for fuel. 3. Keep autophagy going strong. How do we achieve these? By avoiding specific triggers during the fast. Goal 1. Keep insulin low. Avoid anything that tastes sweet or food-like. This is perhaps the most crucial and debated point. Even zero-calorie sweeteners, stevia, aspartame, sucralose, or food-like flavors, fruit essences, broth flavor, even some natural flavors in sparkling water or coffee, can trigger cephalic phase insulin release, or CPIR. Just the taste of sweetness, or something your brain recognizes as food, sends a signal: prepare for incoming energy. Your body releases a small insulin burst in anticipation, even if no calories arrive. Studies show this insulin release can happen within minutes of tasting sweetness, even if you just swish and spit. While a brief taste like brushing teeth might cause a transient blip that quickly returns to baseline, constantly sipping diet soda, flavored water, or sweetened coffee throughout the fast keeps triggering these insulin spikes, however small. This interferes with keeping insulin consistently low and hinders deep fat burning. Jin emphasizes that some studies show conflicting results on CPIR with artificial sweeteners, but her stance is, why risk it? If the goal is maximal benefit, err on the side of caution. Bitter flavors, like plain black coffee or tea, generally don't trigger this response. Goal 2. Burn your own fat. Avoid external fuel sources. This means no adding fat, butter, MCT oil, coconut oil, heavy cream to your coffee. While fat causes minimal insulin release compared to carbs or protein, consuming significant fat calories gives your body easy external fuel. Why would it tap into stored body fat if it's getting readily available energy from your coffee? Similarly, taking exogenous ketone supplements gives your body ketones without making them from your own fat. The goal isn't just having ketones, it's the process of your body producing them from stored fat that signifies you've flipped the metabolic switch. External fuel short-circuits this. Goal 3. Maximize autophagy. Avoid proteins. Autophagy involves breaking down and recycling old cellular proteins. Taking in external protein, from bone broth, collagen supplements, or BCAAs, signals to your body that building blocks are available externally, potentially dampening the signal for internal recycling. Studies suggest amino acids like leucine can decrease autophagy markers and increase insulin. So what is allowed during the clean fast? The list is elegantly simple. Plain water, still, sparkling, mineral, as long as it's unflavored, no lemon slices, fruit infusions, or flavor enhancers. Jin even suggests trying plain hot water, affectionately called MT. Empty, get it? Plain black coffee, unflavored beans only. The bitterness is key. It doesn't typically trigger insulin. Coffee might even benefit autophagy and fat burning. Can't stand it black? Jin's advice is tough love. Give your taste buds time to adjust, maybe weeks. Try a tiny pinch of salt to cut bitterness or dilute it initially. Many acquire the taste and even appreciate other bitter foods afterward. If you truly hate it, skip coffee. It's not required. Absolutely no creamers, milks, sweeteners, butter, or oils. Plain tea, brewed from actual tea leaves, black, green, white, oolong, pu'er, unflavored varieties only. Check ingredients to ensure only tea is listed. Avoid fruity, sweet, or dessert-flavored herbal teas during the fast. They signal food to the brain. Matcha is generally avoided as you consume the leaf powder itself. Some strictly bitter herbal teas might be okay. This falls into a gray area to test after you're adapted, but stick to true teas initially. Unflavored electrolytes/minerals/salt. These don't break the fast and can be helpful, especially if drinking lots of water or fasting longer. Ensure they contain no sweeteners, flavors, or additives. That's essentially it. Anything else falls into the no category. Sweeteners, flavors, fats, proteins, food, diet sodas, gum, mints, broth, etc., or a small gray area, like peppermint oil for breath, bitter herbals, maybe some vitamins, though those are best taken in the window anyway. Jin's rule: when in doubt, leave it out. Why be so strict? Jin shares her story. She initially fasted using stevia in her coffee and struggled with hunger and stalled progress. Once she committed to a truly clean fast, eliminating all sweet and food-like tastes, fasting became dramatically easier, hunger decreased, and weight loss resumed. She even lost 2 more sizes after thinking she'd reached her goal. Countless testimonials echo this. The clean fast makes the process smoother, reduces hunger and cravings, and unlocks better results. If you're skeptical, Jin proposes the Clean Fast Challenge. Commit to 6 to 8 weeks of strictly clean fasting, then try reintroducing whatever you missed, and notice how your body feels. Many find they feel hungrier, shakier, or less energetic, confirming the impact of those seemingly minor additions. The clean fast isn't about arbitrary rules. It's about maximizing the physiological benefits of the fasted state by keeping insulin low and allowing your body to efficiently switch to burning its own fat and engaging in cellular cleanup. It protects the magic happening during the fast. Okay, so you understand the why and how of the clean fast. Now, how do you structure your fasting and eating periods? There are 2 main approaches Jin outlines, plus ways to combine them. 1. Time-restricted eating (TRE), or the eating window approach. This is arguably the most popular method. It's simple. You designate specific hours each day for eating, your eating window, and fast cleanly the remaining hours. Nothing to count but time. Timing is expressed as 2 numbers: fasting hours, eating window hours, adding up to 24. 16 to 8. Fast 16 hours, eat within 8 hours. Often means skipping breakfast and eating lunch and dinner. Jin notes this is popular but might not provide enough fasting time for significant fat burning for everyone. The sweet spot might be longer, great for maintenance or prioritizing health benefits over rapid weight loss. 19 to 5. Fast 19 hours, eat within 5 hours. More time in the potential fat-burning zone, hours 18 to 24. This was Jin's personal sweet spot for weight loss. 20 to 4. Fast 20 hours, eat within 4 hours, even more time potentially burning fat. 23 to 1. Fast 23 hours, Eat within 1 hour. Very compressed eating. Jin cautions that doing this consistently every day might lead to metabolic adaptation for some, suggesting variation is beneficial. OMAD, 1 meal a day, more a concept than strict hour count. It means consuming your day's food around one main meal, but the window might still be several hours. Jin considers herself an OMAder, often eating over a 2 to 5 hour period, fitting between 22 to 2 and 19 to 5, perhaps starting with an appetizer, having her main meal later, finishing with something small. Research studies defining OMAD have used windows up to 4 hours. OMAD offers simplicity and a long daily fast. There are infinite variations, 18 to 6, 22 to 2, etc. The key is finding what works for you. Should the window be early or late? While some research hints at potential benefits for early TRE, long-term comparative studies are lacking. Jin's informal survey showed most fasters prefer evening windows, followed by midday, with only a few preferring morning. The best window is the one you can stick with consistently, fits your lifestyle, and makes you feel good. 2. Alternate day fasting ADF, or the up and down day approach. This involves alternating days of normal eating, up days, with days of significantly reduced intake, down days. Popularized by Dr. Michael Mosley's 5-to-2 diet, 5 up days, 2 down days weekly. Variations include 4-to-3, 6-to-1, or true ADF alternating up and down daily. 2 main ways to structure down days. Option 1, modified fast, e.g., 500 calories. Eat one small meal around 500 calories on the down day, fasting cleanly before and after. Pro, you eat every day. Con, some find limiting to 500 calories harder than not eating at all, less time fully fasted. Option 2, full fast approx. 36 to 42 hours. Eat normally on your up day. Finish dinner. Fast cleanly through the entire next day. Down day, go to bed without eating. Break your fast the following morning next up day. This gives a longer continuous fasting period. Pro, more time fasted, potentially greater benefits like autophagy. Some find it psychologically simpler than restricting. Con, can be harder psychologically initially. Some experience sleep disruption due to increased energy. Crucially important for ADF, up days are just as vital as down days. The day after a down day, you must eat normally, without restriction or maintaining a short window. Have at least 2 to 3 meals over a decent window, 6 to 8 hours or more. Why? This variability, the feast after the famine, signals to your body you're not starving. This overfeeding can help keep your metabolism responsive. Restricting on up days defeats this purpose and risks metabolic slowdown. Never schedule 2 down days in a row. Who might benefit most from ADF? Jin suggests it can be particularly helpful for those with significant insulin resistance, metabolic slowdown from past dieting, or those plateaued with TRE. The longer fasting periods and metabolic boost from up days can be powerful. 3. The intermittent fasting toolbox and hybrid approaches. You don't have to pick just one method. Think of TRE and ADF variations as tools in your toolbox. The key to long-term success and avoiding adaptation is switching things up. Your body adapts to consistency. By varying your fasting lengths or incorporating different approaches, you keep your body guessing, which may prevent plateaus and metabolic slowdown. Examples: alternate window lengths. Mix shorter window days like 23 to 1 or 20 to 4 with longer window days like 18 to 6 or 16 to 8 throughout the week. Hybrid. Combine elements. Maybe do 5 days of TRE, e.g., 19 to 5, and one 36-hour fast a down day followed by an up day each week. Or follow a 5-to-2 pattern, but on the 5 up days, still maintain a moderate window like 18-to-6 instead of eating all day. The possibilities are endless. The goal is creating a pattern that's sustainable, effective for your goals, whether weight loss or health, and feels good to you. Listen to your body. Some days you might naturally fast longer. Other days, like vacations or special occasions, you might have shorter fasts. This flexibility makes IF a lifestyle, not a rigid diet. You've chosen an approach, maybe from the Fast Start section Jin provides. This 28-day introductory period is crucial. It's not primarily about weight loss. It's about adaptation. During these first 4 weeks, your main goals are F equals fast clean. Absolutely nail the clean fast principles from day 1. Stick to the yes list only during this time. A equals adapt. Allow your body time to physically adjust, to learn accessing fat stores efficiently. Expect some challenges, headaches, fatigue, or initial hunger as your body switches gears. This gets easier. S equals settle in. Establish a consistent daily fasting routine, even if window length varies slightly based on your chosen plan. Jin offers 3 paces. Easy does it, steady build. Rip off the Band-Aid. Consistency helps your body adapt faster. T equals tweak. Adjust window timing day to day to see what feels best, or even switch between fast start approaches if one feels too hard or easy. Crucially, Jin advises not changing what you eat during fast start unless using the low-carb ease-in meals of the gentlest plan. Trying to overhaul your diet and adjust to fasting simultaneously often leads to overwhelm and burnout. Focus solely on mastering the when and the clean fast first. Also, don't expect significant weight loss during these 28 days. You might even gain a little initially due to hormonal shifts or temporary overeating in the window as your appetite adapts. This phase is about building the foundation. Take starting measurements and photos on day 0, then put the scale and tape measure away until day 29. After fast start, you move into what Jin calls tweak it till it's easy. This is where you take off the training wheels. You experiment with different window lengths, timings, or even ADF approaches from your toolbox. You become your own detective, a study of one. How do you know if a tweak is working? Ask yourself, how do I feel emotionally? Does this pattern feel sustainable, peaceful, or stressful and deprivation-focused? How do I feel physically? After initial adjustment, do I have good energy and mental clarity, or do I feel consistently drained or unwell? Am I getting the results I hoped for? This isn't just weight loss. Are health markers improving? Do clothes fit better? Are non-scale victories appearing? Better sleep? Clearer skin? Less pain? Use multiple tracking methods. Scale trends. Measurements. Photos. Honesty pants. If something is moving in the right direction, it's working. Give each tweak enough time, weeks, not days, to see how your body adapts. If something feels good and yields results, stick with it. If it feels difficult, drains you, or stalls progress long-term, try something else. The goal is finding your rhythm, your sustainable lifestyle. Now let's talk about the feast part of fast. Feast. Repeat. Jin's philosophy is captured in the mantra from her first book, Delay, Don't Deny. We delay eating until our window opens. We don't deny ourselves foods we truly enjoy. This sounds like freedom, and it is, but it requires understanding the nuance. Don't deny means no food is inherently bad or forbidden forever. If you love pizza, cake, or tacos, you can incorporate them. This release from diet prison, where certain foods are villains, is incredibly liberating. However, Don't deny does not mean eat whatever you want, as much as you want, whenever your window is open. That interpretation often leads to frustration, stalled weight loss, or gain. Remember, even with IF's metabolic benefits, consistently eating far more energy than your body needs leads to storage. The key is shifting from external rules, calorie counts, forbidden food lists, to internal cues. This involves appetite correction. Jin borrows this term from Dr. Bert Herring. It refers to the process where, through consistent intermittent fasting, our bodies gradually recalibrate natural hunger and satiety signals, governed by hormones like ghrelin and leptin, regulated by the brain's apostat. When we eat constantly, especially processed foods, these signals get scrambled. We might develop leptin resistance, where our brain doesn't properly register the full signal. We eat based on clocks, habits, or emotions rather than true physical hunger. Fasting gives these hormonal systems a break, allowing sensitivity to potentially reset. Over time, this takes patience. Many IFers find true hunger becomes clearer and less frequent during the fast. Satiety signals become much stronger during the eating window. You recognize feeling pleasantly satisfied rather than needing to be stuffed. You might even experience the satisfaction sigh or notice food losing appeal when you've had enough. Cravings may lessen or change. You might start desiring more nutritious foods naturally. Appetite correction allows you to delay, don't deny effectively. You can enjoy treats, but you learn to stop when satisfied. You eat pizza, but maybe just a couple slices feel like enough, rather than the whole pie. If you're struggling to hear these signals initially, Jin suggests tricks like serving smaller portions and waiting 30 minutes before deciding on seconds, or aiming for 80% full, harahachi bu. Importantly, appetite correction also means honoring increased hunger on some days. Your body knows what it needs. Does food quality matter? Absolutely. While no food is forbidden, fueling your body primarily with nutrient-dense, less processed foods supports appetite correction and overall health. Jin uses the NOVA classification system to distinguish between unprocessed/minimally processed foods. Group 1: fruits, veggies, meat, eggs, processed culinary ingredients. Group 2: oils, butter, sugar, salt, processed foods. Group 3: simple combinations like homemade bread, canned goods, and ultra-processed foods. Group 4: industrial formulations with long ingredient lists, little whole ultra-processed foods. Group 4 are problematic for several reasons. They're often hyperpalatable, designed to make you want more. They can disrupt appetite signals, making it harder to feel satisfied. Studies show people tend to eat significantly more calories on ultra-processed diets compared to unprocessed diets, even when taste and macros are matched. They provide empty calories, lots of energy, few nutrients. This can leave your body feeling undernourished, even when overfed, potentially driving cravings as it searches for missing nutrients. They require less energy to digest than whole foods. Your body extracts more usable calories from them with less effort. 100 calories of jelly beans isn't processed the same way as 100 calories of actual beans. The advice isn't to become obsessive or eliminate all processed foods. It's about shifting the balance. Focus on filling your plate mostly with foods from NOVA groups 1, 2, and 3. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store. Read labels and choose options with shorter, recognizable ingredient lists. When you prioritize nutrient-dense foods, you'll likely feel more satisfied with less, making appetite correction easier and supporting your health goals. Over time, many IFers find their tastes change naturally. Those hyper-palatable processed foods start tasting artificial or overly sweet. The food simply has to be window-worthy. This brings us to bio-individuality. Just as there's no one-size-fits-all fasting schedule, there's no single perfect diet. Groundbreaking research by scientists like Dr. Aaron Segal and Dr. Tim Spector shows individuals have vastly different blood sugar, insulin, and fat responses to the exact same foods. What spikes one person's blood sugar might barely register for another. These differences are linked partly to genetics, but significantly to each person's unique gut microbiome composition. This explains why your friend thrived on keto while you felt terrible and gained weight, or why you felt great on a low-fat plan someone else found unsatisfying. It scientifically validates listening to your body. Reflect on past experiences. When did you feel your best? Which eating styles seemed to work naturally? Jin realized low-carb never worked for her weight loss, but lower-fat approaches did. DNA analysis later suggested her genes might favor higher carbs/lower fat. Use your own experience, and how you feel after eating certain foods is your primary guide. Forget the diet brain insisting one expert has the universal answer. Trust yourself. Finally, let's talk about making intermittent fasting truly sustainable, turning it from something you do into simply how you live. This involves shifting your mindset. Jin admits that for years, despite knowing about IF, she failed because she approached it with a dieter's mindset. She saw it as temporary, expected instant results, got discouraged by fluctuations, focused on deprivation, I can't eat, and inevitably, fell off the wagon. The transformation happened when she shifted her perspective. Lifestyle, not diet. This is crucial. If isn't something you're on or off. There's no wagon to fall from. Some days might have shorter fasts or longer windows. Vacations, birthdays. That's not failure or cheating. It's flexibility within a lifelong pattern. You simply resume your usual rhythm afterward with no guilt. This removes the all-or-nothing pressure that derails so many diets. Surveys show the vast majority of long-term IFers see it as their forever lifestyle. Focus on health and empowerment, not deprivation. Instead of thinking, I can't eat now, reframe it as, I choose not to eat now, because I value the healing, fat-burning, and mental clarity the fast provides. Embrace the fast as a time for cellular repair and rejuvenation. Remember the health and longevity benefits. You're not depriving yourself of food. You're potentially depriving yourself of future health problems. What you deserve isn't just the donut in the break room. You deserve vibrant health. Cultivate belief and optimism. Mindset matters physiologically. Studies on the placebo effect show belief can create real biological changes. Believing IF can work for you, trusting your body's ability to adapt and heal, and maintaining an optimistic outlook can genuinely impact your success. Surround yourself with positive support. Trust the process. Exercise fits into this lifestyle framework too. Is it required for weight loss with IF? No. Is it vital for overall health, longevity, and well-being? Absolutely. The best exercise? The kind you enjoy and will do consistently. Don't feel pressured to become a marathon runner if you love walking or dancing. Can you exercise while fasted? Yes, and it can be very beneficial. Once adapted, your body becomes efficient at using stored fat for fuel during fasted workouts. You generally don't need pre-workout fuel, unless perhaps for very long endurance events, nor do you need immediate post-workout protein shakes. Studies suggest overall daily protein intake matters more than precise timing around workouts. Plus, the HGH boost from fasting already supports muscle building. Just listen to your body. Don't push too hard, especially when starting IF. Be aware that exercise, while incredibly healthy, can sometimes slow-scale weight loss due to muscle gain, body recomposition, so rely on other progress measures too. What about plateaus or slow weight loss? First, ensure you're past the initial 28-day fast start adjustment. Second, confirm progress has truly stalled using multiple metrics: scale trend, measurements, photos, clothes fit, over several weeks. Slow progress, like an average pound a week, is still progress. If truly stuck, Jin offers a hierarchy of tweaks. 1. Recheck the clean fast. Are you really fasting clean? This is the most common culprit. 2. Assess food volume. Are you consistently eating past satisfaction? Revisit appetite correction strategies. 3. Improve food quality. Are ultra-processed foods dominating your window? Try delaying them and focusing on whole foods. 4. Adjust the fasting regimen. Try tightening your window, varying window lengths more, adding a weekly longer fast, like 36 to 42 hours followed by an up day, or switching to an ADF protocol like 5 to 2 or 4 to 3 for a while to shake things up and potentially boost metabolism. 5. Experiment with eating styles. Based on your bioindividuality, try reducing carbs or reducing fat for a period, focusing on whole food versions, and see how your body responds. 6. Change window timing. If you always eat in the evening, try midday or morning for a few weeks. 7. Delay alcohol/desserts/sugary drinks. These can stall progress for many. Give each tweak time, be patient, and remember some people, especially those with long diet histories, insulin resistance, or certain medical conditions/medications, may need more time for their bodies to heal and respond. If progress remains stalled after many months of consistent effort and tweaking, consider working with a knowledgeable health practitioner to investigate underlying issues: thyroid, stress, sleep, etc. Finally, maintenance. How do you know you're there? Jin suggests focusing on a goal body, how you feel, how clothes fit, rather than a specific scale number, due to body recomposition. Once you reach a place you're happy with, you might initially stick with your successful protocol, listening for increased hunger signals as your body settles. If you continue losing weight unintentionally, gradually lengthen your window slightly. Maintenance often involves more flexibility but still requires mindfulness. Use honesty pants or occasional waist measurements rather than obsessing over the scale. If things start getting snug, be honest about what might have slipped. Longer windows creeping in, more treats, less attention to satiety, and gently rein it back in. Because IF protects metabolism better than dieting, maintenance tends to be far less of a struggle than in the past. It becomes truly effortless over time. And share what you're doing without fear. IF is becoming mainstream. If people question you, focus on the health benefits, the science, autophagy, insulin sensitivity, or simply share your own positive experience. You don't need to defend your choices, but sharing confidently might just inspire someone else. Host. Fast. Feast. Repeat. It sounds simple, and in many ways it is. But the journey it describes is profound. It's about rediscovering your body's innate wisdom, healing your relationship with food, and stepping off the exhausting treadmill of modern dieting culture. As we wrap up our exploration of fast, feast, repeat, let's take a moment to reflect on the core message Jin Stevens offers. Beyond the schedules and science, what truly resonates is the profound sense of empowerment this lifestyle can bring. For so long, many of us have felt like passengers in our own bodies, subject to confusing and often contradictory rules handed down by diet gurus and industry trends. We've counted, tracked, restricted, and often blamed ourselves when results didn't last. Jin's work gently but firmly hands the reins back to us. It reminds us that our bodies possess ancient intelligence, honed over millennia, designed for resilience and health. Intermittent fasting, particularly the clean fast approach, isn't presented as a radical new invention, but rather as a way to align with that innate intelligence. By creating regular periods without incoming food signals, we allow our hormones to rebalance, our cells to repair, and our energy systems to become flexible again. The concept of delay, don't deny is revolutionary in its simplicity. It acknowledges our human desire for enjoyable food while providing structure that supports health. It replaces the black and white good food/bad food mentality of dieting with a more nuanced understanding of timing, quality, and listening to our own bodies. This shift from external rules to internal wisdom, facilitated by appetite correction, is perhaps the most sustainable path to peace with food many of us have ever encountered. What truly strikes me is the emphasis on patience and self-compassion woven throughout the book. Jin repeatedly reminds us this is a process, not a race. The 28-day fast start isn't about instant transformation, but about adaptation. Plateaus aren't failures, but potential periods of healing or recalibration. Success isn't measured solely by the scale, but by a constellation of health improvements, increased energy, and a growing sense of well-being. This perspective removes the pressure and allows us to embrace intermittent fasting as a long-term practice, a true lifestyle integrated into the ebb and flow of real life. So how can you begin weaving these principles into your own life, starting today? Here are a few simple thoughts. 1. Observe your current pattern. Without judgment, just notice when you typically eat and drink things that aren't plain water. What's the time between your last bite or sip at night and your first the next morning? Understanding your starting point is the first step. 2. Experiment with the clean fast even briefly. Try swapping your usual morning beverage, if it contains milk, sugar, or flavorings, for plain black coffee, plain tea, or just water for a few days. Notice how you feel. Does hunger change? Does energy shift? 3. Practice delaying just a little. If you usually snack mid-morning, try waiting an extra 30 minutes. Drink some water. Get busy with something. See if the urge passes. This builds the delay muscle gently. 4. Tune in during your next meal. Eat a little more slowly. Pay attention to taste and texture. Notice the point where you shift from hungry to no longer hungry, or from satisfied to slightly too full. Can you identify that subtle satisfaction sigh? These aren't about implementing a full fasting schedule overnight. They're about cultivating awareness and beginning to experiment with the principles Jin lays out. The journey starts with small steps, grounded in understanding and kindness toward yourself. That was a glimpse into the world of Fast, Feast, Repeat by Jin Stevens. We've touched upon the key ideas today: the pitfalls of traditional dieting, the powerful science behind intermittent fasting, the crucial role of the clean fast, the different approaches you can take, and the importance of mindset and listening to your own body. But honestly, a summary like this is just scratching the surface. The real richness lies in Jin's detailed explanations, the encouraging stories woven throughout, and the way she makes complex science feel accessible and empowering. If any part of our conversation today sparked your curiosity, if you felt a flicker of hope that maybe there is a way off the diet roller coaster, then I truly encourage you to pick up the book itself. Reading it isn't just about learning facts. It's about embarking on a journey that could genuinely shift how you relate to food, health, and your own body for years to come. You can find a link to the book in the description below. And if you found value in our discussion today, Perhaps learned something new or felt inspired? Do give this episode a like. It helps others discover it. More importantly, consider subscribing to Billionaire's Bookshelf. We delve into transformative books like this regularly, aiming to extract wisdom that can help us all grow and live richer lives. Join our community, and let's continue learning together. Until next time, be well.